Hello gamers, the best horror games leave an impression that isn't easy to shake. Horror games tend to turn traditional action concepts on their heads and force you to run and hide from your enemies. If you're going to invest in a horror game, then make sure it's one that goes bump in the night. Whether you want survival horror, action, creeping dread, or gore up the walls, here are my picks for the 7 most scary horror games on PC. Number 7. Layers of Fear. I cannot say enough how surprised I was with this game. I bought it blind, as an impulse, and it was well worth it. The pure insane skill pour into making this game shows. The visuals and horror within are just pure genius. I usually don't scare easily with jump scare or survival horror, but the tones hit and actually got me a few times. Really psychedelic and brings a whole different atmosphere to the genre. Had a great time playing this and would highly recommend you do the same. Number 6. Amnesia Rebirth. It's wider in scope, containing not only capsule versions of the haunted house experience to be found in the Dark Descent, but claustrophobic tunnels and sweeping alien landscapes, and, in a surprise for the series, bright sunshine as well. Though it cracks a little under the weight of wrapping up the complex, history-spanning story of the Amnesia games, Rebirth is frictional, showing off everything they've learned in the last decade. Though there's no water monster this time, the same effect of an ever-present threat, unseen but potentially everywhere, is achieved with monsters that tunnel through the walls. It's also a story about body horror and a threat coming from within, as much as it's about the monsters without, and as such you can never really relax even in the moments that you're supposedly safe. Number 5. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It's so different from other Five Nights at Freddy's games it feels like it's from a different franchise, just flawless. A major direction change and in the right direction. Great story. Great gorgeous visuals, and best of all, fun, suspenseful, and scary. Loved the voice acting, so glad the wait was worth it. Played about an hour with lots of exploring. Reminds me of a glitzy Alien Isolation, which is a great thing. If the movie has half of this, we will have a new movie franchise for sure. There are some bugs, but the game was released early, so I can't really blame it for that. Definitely my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game ever. Number 4. Resident Evil Village. The most recent Resident Evil Village is excellent and has one of the most terrifying horror set pieces in recent memory. It never gets any easier for Resident Evil Village's main protagonist, Ethan Winters. We first meet Ethan in Resident Evil 7 when his long-lost wife mysteriously makes contact and he sets out to find her, leading him to a creepy bayou cabin and a nasty run-in with the unsavory residents, the Baker family. Luckily, Chris Redfield swoops in to save Ethan, and his life regains some normality, if not for long. Ethan's world is once again turned upside down in Resident Evil 8. This time he's stuck in an isolated village inhabited by monsters and feral villagers. Resident Evil Village may be remembered for its alluring antagonist, the tall lady, but this first-person survival game soon lets loose the scares. Number 3. Visage. The horror game I've been looking for my entire life. I can't tell you how many horror games I've tried over the years, looking for something that gives me the sheer panic and terror that Visage manages to bring. There are 4 separate chapters to choose from, each having their own storyline in the game. The graphics allow you to really immerse yourself, and the chance encounters are all differing between each player. You might get a jump scare that someone else hasn't yet. It would definitely take a few playthroughs to achieve every outcome. 10 out of 10, could not recommend enough, something truly special, will scare the hell out of you. Number 2. Phasmophobia. It definitely does what it's supposed to do, give you a terrifying ghost haunting experience. Really scary, really fun. Phasmophobia came out of nowhere in 2020 and has since become one of Steam's top-selling games. This early access game allows you to jump in teams of up to 4 players and investigate a haunted place with your ghost hunting tools. Solve the mystery, exorcise the spirit, and leave unscathed or die trying. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played a horror online game better than Phasmophobia. It's excellent from every perspective and point. The detailing, animation, sounds, maps, ghost concepts, and equipment usage, it's an absolute blast. Number 1. Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation nails both the survival and horror aspects of the genre. It is surprising how long it took for someone to actually make a horror game around the central premise of the original Alien film. Alien Isolation narrows in on what made the original Alien film so terrifying: the experience of being stuck in a confined space, sans military weapons, with one of the most horrific creatures to ever grace celluloid. Its terror is unmatched by that of any other game from the last few years. Few games have achieved the level of tension-filled gameplay that makes up the majority of Alien Isolation, as the Xenomorph's sharp, focused hunting ability leaves little time for respite across its 15 to 20-hour runtime. That is what Alien Isolation promises, and that is what it delivers. And that is why it is one of the best horror games of all time. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. And if you find the video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.